Hello and welcome back to another video on the Football Zone and to our weekend review, reviewing this week's Premier League and Championship action. And let's kick things off with the Premier League and Saturday. There's no lunchtime game, we started things off with the 3 o'clock games. And yeah, it was a great result for Brighton as De Zerbi picked up his second win on the trot with 3-2-1 at Wolves. Lallana gave Brighton the lead in the 10th minute before Wolves went 2-1 up. Mitoma equalised in the 44th minute and Semedo was sent off in stoppage time, allowing Gross to get a late winner. A great win for Brighton. They're really picking up some momentum now. Wolves need Lopetegui in charge, I think it's fair to say. But anyway, moving on then to Forest 2, Brentford 2 at the City ground. Gibbs White gave Forest the lead in the 20th minute before Mbeumo equalised just on the stroke of half-time with a penalty. Wiese then gave Brentford the 2-1 lead before Zanka in the 96th minute with an own goal gave Forest a point. And yeah, for me, it was no less than Forest deserves here. I thought they were probably the best team here and yeah, fully deserving a point. Brentford, frustrating to lose it, but I don't think they can have too many complaints, to be honest. Before moving on then to a dramatic late goal at the Etihad, where it finished Man City 2, Fulham 1. Alvarez was scoring in the 16th minute for City before Cancelo was sent off 10 minutes later, and from the resultant penalty, which I'm not sure it was a red card, to be honest. Pereira scored, obviously from Manchester United. Haaland then had a goal to stand in the 74th minute, but he made amends for it in the 95th minute from the penalty spot, getting the winner, and yeah, it had to be him. And City, even with 10 men, showed remarkable spirit. They were still the better team and deserving the 3 points. Fulham will be absolutely devastated. Moving on then to Leeds for Bournemouth 3 at Ellen Rose. Rodrigo gave Leeds the lead in the 3rd minute before Bournemouth went 3-1 up through Tavernier, Belling and Solanke. Greenwood, Cooper and in the 84th minute Somerville gave Leeds the win though, and what a remarkable turnaround for Jesse Marsh's men. Yeah, on the whole I would say Leeds just about deserving winner, but yeah, it just shows the heart they have. And yeah, I think they're definitely turning things up under Jesse Marsh after all the calls tend to go. But for Bournemouth, a collapse like that, not good enough really, is it? Before moving on then to Everton 0, Leicester 2 at Goodison Park. Tielemans with an absolutely beautiful goal in the 45th minute gave Leicester the lead before Harvey Barnes in the 86th minute sealed the win for Leicester. And yeah, I think we're finally seeing the old Leicester back now, or at least the Leicester we've seen in the last few seasons more and more so, because yeah, they were a lot better here. And for me, we're deserving of the 3 points. For Everton, though, yeah, I do think they have to look at themselves after this performance because it really was poor. Before moving on then to Sunday's action, where it finished Chelsea 0, Arsenal 1, a statement win for Arsenal. We keep thinking they're going to fall away, but no, they just keep on going, and yeah, they've just been so impressive this season, haven't they? The only goal of the game coming in the 63rd minute through Gabriel, and yeah, a beautiful corner from Saka, and Gabriel got the touch on it. And yeah, Arsenal, for me, they would deserve winners. Chelsea really poor, didn't really get going, and questions starting to be asked over Graham Potter. Got to give them some time, but yeah, it's still really poor performance. But Arsenal just keep marching on. Great performance from them. Moving on then to West Ham 1, Palace 2 at the London Stadium. Ben Rama gave West Ham lead in the 20th minute, but Zaha equalised 20 minutes after that, and then Michael Elise in the stoppage time getting the winner for Crystal Palace. And yeah, I have to say it's no less than Crystal Palace deserved, to be honest. West Ham were poor, Palace got the deserved winner, and yeah, it's a big win for them, takes them up into the top half. They're really starting to find some momentum now. And Jay just goes through the attacking talent they have. But for West Ham, they just still aren't getting going, are they? Moving on then to a game that ultimately marked the end for Ralph Hasenhüttl as his team was defeated 4-1 by Newcastle. Almiron in the 35th minute gave Newcastle lead before Wood and Willock made it 3-0. Pereira pulled one back in the 89th minute, but Gomes with a lovely goal in the 91st minute sealed the win for Newcastle. And yeah, personally, I don't think Southampton were bad in this game at all, really. Newcastle were clinical, and yeah, it wasn't their best performance, but Southampton, yeah, I mean, Ralph, I think it's a bit harsh. I think he's done a good job there, and personally, I think he should have got more time with a young squad, but there we go. Moving on then to Villa 3, Manchester United 1 at Villa Park. Bailey gave Villa lead in the 7th minute before Digne in the 11th minute scored. Beautiful work from Amy Martinez there, telling where to place the ball. If you haven't seen it, go and check it out. But Ramsey own goal pulled United 1 back, but he made amends 5 minutes later, or 5 minutes after half time, to give Villa the win. And what a big win this was for Villa. Unai Emery making a statement win on his first game. United won at the best, but yeah, this is a statement win for Unai Emery, and hopes for him will be high now. Moving on then to White Hart Lane, where it finished Tottenham 1, Liverpool 2 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Salah with 2 goals in the first half made it 2-0. Kane pulled one back in the 70th minute, but Tottenham couldn't get that elusive equaliser. And yeah, it was a game which I would say Liverpool probably just about deserved 3 points. Really, really good performance from them, and hopefully this is a sign of more of the old Liverpool coming back after some really poor defeats recently. But yeah, this was a good performance. But for Tottenham, couldn't see books again. Frustration grows. Moving on then to the Championship, and starting off on a Friday night with Reading 1, Preston 2 at Medeski. And yeah, Ched Evans with a goal in the 51st minute before Lucas Schwab equalised from the penalty spot in the 71st minute, and Ched Evans once again in the 79th minute gave Preston the winner. And yeah, it's a game with not much separating the two sides. I think Reading may feel a bit disappointed. I think they can at least get a point. But Preston, great win for them. Once again, just being so strong defensively. Reading's form is becoming a bit of a concern though, but for Preston, a really good win. Moving on then to a bit of a crazy game in the Championship on Saturday lunchtime, where it finished Sheffield United 5, league leaders Burnley 2. Benson gave Burnley in the 17th minute before Ndiaye equalised 13 minutes later, but Benson put them ahead once again before half time. But then Sheffield United went mad in the second half. 2 goals from Burnley, one from Robinson, and one from an I'm not going to try and pronounce his second name. But Sheffield United, yeah, we really saw what they could do here. Brilliant win for them. Burnley, though, hopefully just a blip. But yeah, this second half was very concerning for them. Moving on then to Swansea 2, Wigan 2 at the Liberty Stadium. Keenan Naylor with a goal in the 8th and 16th minute gave Wigan a 2-0 lead. Swansea had to fight back from 2 goals down, and Manning in the 44th minute and Pirro from the spot in the 84th minute gave Swansea a crucial point. And yeah, Swansea dominated possession, as you might expect from a Russell Martin side, had more goal attempts, so maybe they'll be disappointed they couldn't come back. But yeah, Wigan will be disappointed chucking away 2-goal lead, and I think Swansea will be disappointed they got themselves into that position in the first place, to be honest. So there we go. But moving on then to Sunderland 0, Cardiff 1 at the Stadium of Light. Joe Walls missed a penalty in the 13th minute for Cardiff, but in the 49th minute they took the lead anyway through Harris and just about held out for the victory. So in the end, that missed penalty, except for causing a few nerves in the end, didn't do too much damage, I suppose. But yeah, a good win for Cardiff, I would say just about deserved. Really, really strong result for them, and they'll be absolutely delighted. Big win for them under Hudson, both shooting at the table. But Sunderland, yeah, they just can't find much consistency. Speaking of teams that can't find some consistency, just as you thought Watford were getting going, they go and lose at home to Coventry. Gokares was the only goal of the game in the 50th minute, and he was absolutely outstanding in this game. For me, one of the best strikers in the division. But yeah, Coventry deserving of the 3 points there. Watford had the ball, as you might expect, more often than not. But Coventry were clinical on a break and all that sort of thing, and they got a deserved win and really showing what they can do now after such a slow start to the season, and even with off-field distractions. Yeah, they're doing a great job at the moment, so fair play to them. But Watford just needs some consistency, man. Moving on then to Stoke 1, Birmingham 2 at the Bet365 Stadium. Hogan and Dean gave Birmingham a 2-0 lead before Lewis Baker from the spot in the 75th minute got Stoke back into it, but in the end they couldn't find that elusive equaliser. And yeah, Birmingham held out to all 3 points, and yeah, what a great result this was with Birmingham. Really building some confidence now under John Eustace. He's doing a great job. But yeah, for Stoke, this is a frustrating game. Once again, yeah, they just can't get as consistent run of results. It's a championship, isn't it? But it's so frustrating. Moving on then to Norwich, and they picked up a really solid 2-1 away win at Rotherham. Yeah, McLean gave them the lead in the 70th minute before Rathbone in the 49th minute gave Rotherham an equaliser. But just a minute later, that must be so frustrating from a Rotherham point of view. Ramsey gave Norwich the victory. And yeah, for me, when you can compare the teams and budgets, I imagine it was quite a contested game, closely contested game, so Rotherham really frustrated not to come away with anything. But Norwich, big win for them, and hopefully they can get back on track. Moving on then to QPR 0, West Brom 1 at Loftus Road. Cole Bartley with the only goal of the game in the 68th minute from a John Swift corner. And yeah, once again, a game with just not much between the two sides. I think QPR will feel disappointed here. But Carlos Corberán, yeah, he's done a remarkable job in his short time with that West Brom team, because yeah, they just look a far, far better team than we've seen at many points throughout the season. So yeah, great, fair play to him. But QPR just going for a bit of a blip at the moment, need to score some goals again. Moving on then to Millwall 0, Hull 0 at the Den. And yeah, Liam Rossini's first game in charge. Oscar Estupiñán, obviously the star striker, was sent off 36 minutes into this one, and there's a red card for me. But yeah, I mean, like, that was just me so frustrating. But fair play to Millwall, to Hull, sorry, under immense pressure, they held out for that 0-0 draw. Really, really strong result for them. But yeah, for Hull, disappointing because maybe they could have won this without the 10 men. But yeah, for Hull, a really slow point. Millwall, though, that's a poor result, you have to say. Moving on then to Middlesbrough 1, Bristol City 1 at the Riverside. Weimann in the 10th minute gave Bristol City the lead before Akpom in the 47th minute equalised, and Middlesbrough absolutely dominated this game, dominated possession, dominated goal shots, goal attempts, whatever. They dominated this game and couldn't find a breakthrough. So yeah, I think they'll be so frustrated with that because this is a game that they really should have won. Bristol City, strong defending, held out for a point, but yeah, I think they will be fortunate that to consider themselves to come away from a point here, to be honest. But moving on then to Blackpool 0, Luton 1 at Bloomfield Road. Luke Berry with the only goal of the game here in the 57th minute. And yeah, a game which I think Blackpool will be disappointed they didn't come away with anything, because yeah, I think they probably had more of the game, but Luton had that chance, they took it, and yeah, a really, really good result for Luton. But yeah, for Blackpool, disappointing result, and yeah, once again, they just can't find much form for Blackpool. It's been a bit of a struggle for them at the moment. Obviously had those 2 wins, but except for that, yeah, just not much has been happening recently. Moving on then to Blackburn 1, Huddersfield 0 at Ewood Park. Burton Diaz in the 35th minute with the only goal of the game. And yeah, it's a game that Blackburn dominated. You always felt like they were in control. I mean, like, personally, for a top against bottom, we know how poor Huddersfield have been this season. Maybe, I don't know, I was expecting it to be 2 or 3-0. But, you know, at the end of the day, they got the win. That's the most important thing, I suppose. So, yeah, it was a solid enough victory, I suppose. But I think there's still more to come from this Blackburn side, and even in the position they're in, to be honest. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate, comment, and follow this for daily football news and subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.